What is up, everybody? Good morning and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to go into a Floodgate route. This is going to look a little bit different than what you've seen last season. So if you haven't updated your MDT, this isn't going to be what is on your screen. This kind of messed me up yesterday with every single dungeon. So if you have old dungeons or an old version of MDT, make sure that you update that first. Otherwise, you will not see this exactly and it might bug out a little bit. But the first poll is going to look exactly the same as what you were doing last season if you did Floodgate last season. So we're going to start up here in the top left-hand corner, and we are going to go down. We're going to thread the needle between this Shredinator and these Dark Fuse soldiers right here. We're going to wrap around the left-hand side, pull all the soldiers and the contractors, go in, pull this whole thing, and this is where we're going to drop our first Bloodlust. Typically, there's no wiggle room on this. If you're with a Pug, you always lust this pull. It's going to be pretty scary, and usually Pugs were able to absolutely demolish it. Haven't had any issues with this season at all. The one thing that is going to change a lot about this dungeon is you are going to feel like you are doing an infinite amount of trash before any sort of bosses. As you can see, we have tons and tons of trash before we even get to a boss over here on pull 10, but that is a-okay. So once we kill this first pull, we're going to go ahead and pull the soldiers and the hyenas over here, along with the two hyenas on the left-hand side. Grab a couple crabs in with that, and the contractors. The reason that this pull is kind of doable is just the crabs aren't going to do a whole lot. The tank, I've never had any issues surviving with these as a tank. If they die, they'll do a little bit of an explosion on your team. But everything else in this pull, I mean, the contractors don't really do anything. The soldiers don't really do anything. We'll just get a singular kick on the surveyor. Any kind of stops on the surveyor is fine, but the pull should go down pretty well, I would say, especially if you were blowing absolutely everything on this. You want a little bit more of a chill pull too. We are going to then go into the architect pull over here, and we're going to grab this last remaining crab, whatever crab you didn't pull in the first pull. We're going to grab the divers over here, so kind of pulling in this order as well. Crab, divers, and then drag them into the architect. Grab the surveyors and grab the loader bots and pull them on top of the architect to make sure that you can cleave onto the scaffolding. This should once again be a pretty chill pull. There's not going to be anything that does too much group damage. We'll get a singular kick on the surveyor here, so he should not do a whole lot, and then we'll make sure to keep a stun for the loader bots. We'll go ahead and take out this pull and then move up these stairs. Last season, this was something that I like to skip. The demolitionist is really annoying, but we can go ahead and grab these inspectors, the soldiers. Inspectors will just blink to random people and do that slow cast frontal. So don't really need to worry about those. And then we'll grab the soldiers here, which will do pretty much nothing. The only thing in this pull that you really need to worry about is making sure that you first let the demolitionist cast. He's going to cast the lRttgDt, I think is what it's called, and then he will try and reload for the rest of the pull. If you keep interrupting his reload, he will never cast that again, and he becomes utterly useless. He's just a terrible mob, doesn't do anything at all. And then all you really have to focus on is the mecha drone snipers, just interrupt trick shot. So pretty chill pull here as well. The next pull that we're going to do is we're going to go up this other set of stairs. We're going to grab the snipers, grab the soldiers, grab the hyenas, and then grab the loader bots. If this pat is in a good spot, if it's like at the bottom of the stairs, you can also grab that too. It's just two soldiers, not going to do anything. It'll just add on to the soldiers, and you can get some more cleave. It's really no big deal. But yeah, the only thing that you really need to worry about in this pull is the trick shots from the mecha drone snipers, and then the loader bots. Once, if you pull like this and you pull down the stairs over here, the loader bots will always cast their wind up at the bottom of the stairs, so you can have that in your head as a timer of when to stun them. So you go ahead and stun them. Pull should go very well. The other thing, if the pat is in a bad spot, you can always take these two pats and pull them in with the boss. That is something that's totally fine. This pat can really be done with the next three pulls, so it can be done with pull 5, it can be done with the boss, or it can be done with pull 7. It's not going to make a huge difference either way. Go ahead and kill Big Mama here. Make sure that you grab the weapon stockpile over on the left-hand side, and then we will go up towards pull 7. We'll grab all the contractors in the back because we know that they don't do hardly anything. Make sure to, once again, kick the trick shot on the mecha drone sniper. That's going to be priority, I would say. The blood bolts from the blood warper are kind of annoying, but just live the big AoE cast and he should be fine. And once again, we will let the demolitionist cast the lRttgDt, and then we will stop him from reloading for the rest of the pull. We'll make sure to click the weapon stockpile. We'll go up here. We'll take the little glider over, making sure to land somewhere over here. Grab a couple crabs on your way in if you are the tank. Make sure that they follow you in this way as opposed to trying to pull over on the right hand side here, and they'll path this way. So go ahead and grab them. Go start with this architect. You'll want to make sure to kill the scaffolding underneath him, and then once he drops down, then he's actually a movable mob, and you'll chain pull him over into the rest of pull 8 here. The only things to be worried about, all these contractors are pretty much useless. The only thing that you really need to worry about is these surveyors. So we'll just need 2 kicks on the surveyors for their beam that does damage, and the rest of the pull should be easy breezy, beautiful. The thing that I've noticed, though, as a tank is that a lot of DPS will end up pulling a ton of these crabs. If you are too close to the ledge over here, you'll pull the crabs, they'll pull each other, and then they'll all path around this way. That's not what you want. You'll end up getting a lot of extra count, and if you kill all the crabs at the same time, they will do some good raid damage, so you don't want that to happen either. So once you get all these pulls gathered, try and keep the mobs close enough to the scaffolding where the scaffolding can still be cleaved, but make sure that nobody is standing between the scaffolding and the wall over here. Once the architect drops down, you can move into a little bit of a safer distance right at the bottom of the stairs here, and you'll be in a better spot. You won't pull any of these crabs. This pull is a little bit spooky, but I still wouldn't recommend lusting on it or anything like that. I've seen people lust this last season, but just definitely isn't needed. Again, contractors do hardly anything. Shredinators we know from the first pull up here. Just make sure that you get out of the way of Shredination. If you are moving as Shredination goes out, you shouldn't take any damage as well, so help your healers out. Be on the move if you can right at the start of the pull, especially if you're melee, you're not losing any uptime or anything like that. And then make sure we get the kicks on the surveyor beams. We'll go ahead and kill Bront and Kiza, making sure to get the weapon stockpile right here. And then there will be like a gun that appears on the floor. You'll need to click a little extra action button to make sure to shoot down the Zeppelin in the center of the room. We'll path down here. If you ended up missing these crabs or something like that, or you're worried about count, you can always pull like a crab or something like that with the Disturbed Kelp. Wouldn't recommend doing any more than like 1 or 2 crabs if you're going to do that though. Disturbed Kelps, just make sure that you are using any kind of silences or hard kicks for the rejuvenating algae. That is always a priority. I know a lot of people like to just slam stuns on the rejuvenating algae and they will just recast it. So if you have a hard kick, go ahead and use it. If you have a silence, go ahead and use it. Then the other cast that they do will be not silenceable. So that's when you will want to save your stuns for any kind of blind, stop, anything like that. Bubbles will get what's coming to him, and Swamp Face will spawn. Go ahead and kill Swamp Face. Pretty simple boss. And then we will go down here. So we'll come up from this left-hand side over here. We'll drop down, and then we will get this massive pull right here towards the middle of the room. Again, these soldiers don't do anything, so this will be pretty easy. The only thing that you really need to worry about is the electrician over here. So if you're going to try and do this, you need some kind of ranged kick, or I honestly like to commit Silent Sigil just on that solo mob, just so that he kind of walks in a lot easier. And then we'll stack over here on the electrician on the left-hand side, bring everything to that. Again, we know the contractors do nothing. The soldiers pretty much do nothing. The inspectors will just be blinking around doing their frontals, but pretty much do nothing, only just to the tanks. So we just need to get as many kicks as possible on these electricians, so all the stops should be going into them. We'll come over here to the right-hand side, and this will be the same pulls that you've seen for the end of last season. Contractors and soldiers do nothing. Inspectors pretty much do nothing. We will just cleave off of the jump starter probably, or you can focus the electricians jump starter if you need a little bit of a bigger health target, but the electricians are priority on this pull, both for stops and for killing. If the rest of this dies really late, that is more than fine. Just make sure you get all of your damage into any of these 3 mobs. We'll go ahead and do this double jump starter pack to finish up the dungeon. If you're feeling really min-maxy, you can always take a few steps. Make sure that you step into the actual boss room over here to start the RP, just so that when you kill this pull 15, the boss is already spawned and ready for you to kill. So we will take out Gigo Gigazap, and that will be the dungeon. So here's the route one more time. I will go ahead and put this route in the link in the description as well, so if you want to just copy and paste it, again, make sure you update your MDT, otherwise this will not work. But yeah, that is the route for Floodgate. I've had no issues with this. This is pretty much the same as last season, but I've had no issues with it this season either, so that is good. I will go ahead and keep trying to pump out individual route guides just to make sure that we have all the information that we need as we're starting off the season. Thank you guys again for being patient. Thank you for all the support so far, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.